OITA for alerting my neighborhood about someone lurking on my property, only to realize I outed a neighbor's husband in his underwear. This morning, I awoke to a bunch of notifications from my home's surveillance system. Upon checking it, I see a middle-aged man in his underwear, no shirt and flip-flops wandering throughout my partially fenced back and front yard, looking around everywhere, casing the place, with a slightly panicked expression. It was extremely suspicious and unnerving. Since the notification was only 20 minutes prior, I shoot up out of bed, put on some clothes and run outside, in hopes of confronting the trespasser to tell them to leave my property, but I'm unable to find any trace of anybody. It's a quiet morning out and everything seems as usual. I go back in the house and look at the surveillance footage more closely, watch the other camera angles, etc., and I am even more unnerved to see a whole family far away in the distance. On one of the backyard cameras, a mom and a young daughter, crawling underneath my wife and I's tiny house that we have parked out behind our main house. The mom's holding a shovel and the daughter is holding a long stick. You can't see what they're doing. You can only see from their shoulders up, but they're crawling around underneath the tiny house. The wind was too strong for the cameras to pick up audio of what they were doing. You could also see them looking over my other neighbor's fence, too. It's also suspicious and creepy. What were they doing? Where did they disappear to? I showed my wife and she thought they were trying to break the locks on the tiny house door. I went back outside to the tiny house and looked all over where the family was crawling around, and couldn't find anything askew or missing. Not even any footprints in the dirt. WTF. I text my immediate neighbor photos of the people and they don't recognize them. They suggest I call the cops. Neighbors thank me for watching out for them. However, I don't like calling the cops, so I did the next best thing. Printed out a few flyers with a photo of a suspicious underwear man saying basically, watch out for this person in the neighborhood. He was with a woman and a young girl. I distributed the flyers in the neighbors, who share the easement where the family emerged. I don't think much more of it and the day continues. Tonight, I'm in the front yard doing yard work when a woman approaches me and tells me that she's my neighbor from 5 houses down. I've never seen or met her before. She says she doesn't appreciate that her neighbors now know what her husband in his underwear looks like. That obviously they were trying to retrieve some pet chickens that were attacked by a hawk. Why would anyone steal with their daughter with them? Why didn't I come out and confront them? She really let me have it. I apologized, tried to explain that I'd never seen them before, that I was sleeping, couldn't see what they were doing, from my point of view how suspicious it all was, etc. But she wasn't having it. Told me her morning was terrible and that I made it worse. Passive-aggressively told me to have a great night and stormed off. Apparently I had dropped off a flyer in their mailbox. The family who I captured in 4K on my property. I, in somewhat of a panic now, ran back and was able to retrieve the other 3 out of 4 flyers I put in mailboxes. This family were the only ones who actually saw the flyer. She really made me feel like an asshole when I was trying to just watch out for my neighbors' properties and safety. We have a history of vagrants roaming through our easements, where they emerge from, mind you, and I really thought that was what happened today. We also don't live out in the country. This is in a metro area of Tucson, Arizona. Seeing an underwear man on your property is something anyone else would call the cops over. I'm honestly horrified and feel ashamed, but at the same time feel like I did the right thing. It's very conflicting. Wife thinks I shouldn't have made the flyers. I kind of agree, but 99.9% of the rest of the time, it wouldn't have been a false alarm. I may have started a neighbor feud.